Movie guy Will Meyer joining us now to talk about what to see, skip, and rent this week. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And you have an interesting one to start off. This one is Warcraft, and you said it's not your favorite movie.
Not my favorite movie so far. Yeah, I had a bad feeling about this one earlier. I predicted that this movie would be the biggest bomb of the summer. It's doing well in China, but it's not going to do so hot here. And you know, sometimes that has to do with the quality of the film, and in that case, it does with this movie. This movie is based on the enormously popular video game franchise. You know, it has legions of devoted fans. One of the biggest ones is Duncan Jones, who's the writer-director, and he's the son of the late David Bowie. He's made quite a name for himself in the filmmaking world so far with two great movies he's made so far, Source Code and Moon. This is a movie that you know, he's a big fan of the video game franchise as well, and I think that's part of the problem here, because this movie feels like it was only made for, you know, existing fans of the franchise. I walked into this movie and I thought, I mean, I need a manual, or I need, you know, like I needed to see a prequel or something beforehand, because you just don't get a sense of,
list.
of what's going on. It's just tough to follow. But it's a movie that, you know, just has a myriad of problems. It's joyless, it's humorless, it's practically soulless. This movie, even when you get a sense of what's going on later on of the plot and the characters, it's so uninteresting that you just have a really difficult time staying with it. This movie, I cannot remember the last time I've had such a difficult time staying, you know, glued to a movie, because it's just so mind-numbingly dull. I mean, this movie, I really can't tell you how bad this movie is. It's one of my least favorite movies I've seen in a long, long time.
What about fans of the video game? Do you think they would enjoy it more?
You know, I think they definitely would enjoy it more, because they at least have a sense of what is going on. I mean, you don't know the who, what, when, where, or why in this movie, but, you know, at least they have a sense of that. But still, even when you do know what's going on, I mean, it's just not any good. It's just not fun. And so,
all right, from sci-fi to horror, we have the sequel of The Conjuring.
Yeah, it's a sequel to the wildly successful 2013 horror film. That movie, you know, made a ton of money, and it was actually a pretty effective and good scary movie too. You know, this movie, you know, they're never as good as the original, but this movie is about as scary as the original. I think you can tell they spent most of their time in this movie, you know, trying to figure out effective ways to scare the audience. And while it's hardly anything that original here, they're stealing from, you know, Poltergeist and you know, and Fright Night, all these really good horror films. And it's mostly, you know, you're waiting for things to jump out from around the corner. It's mostly jump scares, but it is effective here. It's skillfully made. You know, I've jumped several times, had goosebumps, you know, down my arms. I mean, it was definitely effective. Other than that, it doesn't have a whole lot else going for it. It strains to connect emotionally, and the story's a little bit thin. But hey, this movie is effective at scaring the audience, which is what people are going to see this movie, you know, to see. They're going to be scared, I believe. So for that reason, I will say see it.
So if you like horror movies, you can go see it.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
If you're like me, I don't like them. I don't like them
yeah,
at all.
not going to be your cup of tea.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.